excited by all things AI. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe that there are some laws that need to be put into place to protect creators. However, I'm really excited by ChatGPT. I created my account and I started playing around. It was a pretty simple process once I got to the site. I just had to create my account. I used it through my Gmail account. It asked for my phone number, I guess, to verify my account, and I just had to enter the code. And then it took me to the screen where I had to answer how I was going to be primarily using ChatGPT, which is run by OpenAI. After doing that, I was in. It took me a while after I created my account back in December of last year until just this past week when I decided to try out some of the things I've been hearing about on different podcasts. And I listened to podcasts like Joanna Penn's The Creative Pen, which she definitely has a futuristic outlook. After clicking through a few things that they wanted me to click on, I was finally in the system. Now on my screen, everything looked a little bit too light because I do have the brightness turned way up, so then I turned it to dark mode. And in dark mode, I was finally able to see where I could probably start doing something with this program. And I saw that the chat box came right up. The first thing that I wanted to try out, which I heard quite a bit about from this program, was to see if it could rewrite my blurb that you would find like on Amazon in the back of my book. And I did this for my YA fantasy novel, Blood of the Lily. I also remembered what Joanna Penn said about being thankful and courteous to the AI. So I decided that, you know what, I can try and do that as well whenever I could remember it. And I remembered it last minute here, so I went ahead and put please at the beginning of my statement. Next, I added to the prompt to rewrite that blurb in the style of the top 100 YA fantasy novels on Amazon. Something that I want to add here is that when using AI, I want to be as much of an ethical user of it as possible. So I would not ask the AI to write my blurb in the style of any particular creator. So I know I put in the prompt asking it to do it in the style of the top 100 YA fantasy novels. And I see this as something akin to looking at the top 100 novels in your genre and writing down everything that you liked about those blurbs of those who are doing really well and trying to emulate them as much as possible without stealing their actual words. So that's why I felt okay with using this prompt with such a large data set and not using the style of just one specific creator. Then I went on to Amazon to go grab that blurb from my book to plug that into ChatGPT. And then I sent it off to the AI to see what it would come up with. And you can see that it was thinking here with the 3 dots. And then it started generating the new blurb. Now I realized as the blurb was going that it's supposed to be triplet sisters. And somehow I cut off the T. I don't know how. So it thought Riplet was the last name of my characters. So I don't know. It was kind of funny that that's what happened. I noticed right away that the new blurb was shorter, much shorter than my original blurb, which I've been hearing lately blurbs should be a bit shorter and that mine was probably too long, but I hadn't really gone any further with that advice. My original blurb was 244 words long, and this new one was 181 words. And I did notice that some of the flowery language was taken out, and my sentences were made more concise. Now, I didn't write my blurbs. I hired someone to write the blurbs for my novels. Next, I asked it to write ad copy from the blurb for Blood of the Lily. I had heard that this AI was really good for making ad copy, so I just wanted to try it out for myself. It did a pretty good job of making something more concise, and this was 135 words, but I don't know any place that I could actually use this. Most places you can use ad copy would be if you're applying to promotion companies online who will promote your book. They will typically ask you for your blurb, but sometimes they limit the number of words you can use. And for advertisements, at least for Amazon advertisement, there is a smaller character count. So I tried a few more prompts in which I just changed how large the ad copy could be. So the first one I did 250 characters and the next one I did 100 characters. And I think what it provided was really good. I could definitely use these for some of those promotion companies that I pay for, which ask for some ad copy like this. The next thing I wanted to try was to see what kind of keywords it could come up with. So I put in the prompt for it to find 100 Amazon keywords for the YA fantasy novel Blood of the Lily by my author name. And I specifically chose Amazon because I only do advertisements right now through Amazon. I'd have to say that most of these keywords I have already used, but there were a few in here that I haven't used, so I thought about possibly using these in my keywords in the future. And I also recognize some of these. Now on Amazon, once you start getting reviews on your books, Amazon's own AI will pick out keywords from those reviews. These often appear in like these little boxes above the reviews on your book page on Amazon. And so I definitely recognize some of these. I ran the prompt again, but this time I limited it to 50 Amazon keywords, and I did it for my Clash of Goddesses series. The prevailing thought is you only run advertisements on your books to the first book in series if it is a linear story, which mine is. So I only run advertisements to Blood of the Lily, which is the first book of my series. However, I do have a box set ebook now for my series, and I've told myself to start my advertisements through Amazon for this box set, but I haven't done it yet. So I thought, well, let me just try this on the box set itself. And again, I was pretty pleased with the results. Many of these are ones that I've used for my first book, Blood of the Lily, but these also include some other keywords probably picked out from the reviews written on my second and my third book, which I don't run advertisements to, so I don't use those keywords. The next thing I wanted to do was to go back to that ad copy for Amazon advertisements, but this time I wanted to see if I used more specific language, if I would get something different. So this time I wrote, please write ad copy for Amazon advertisements about Blood of the Lily by S.D. Huston. I didn't give it a specific number, but it gave me 10, and I'd have to say that some of these are really good. I probably would only need to tweak a few of these to be able to use them for my ad copy. The last thing I asked it to do now was to write the ad copy for my Clash of Goddesses series, since I will be running Amazon advertisements to the ebook box set. Overall, I'd have to say that this is not perfect, but this gave me a lot of great ideas of what I can do next, along with some new material that I can work off of. It's not a perfect system, and this was kind of shown to me by Estelle Van de Velde when her and I got together to do some live Q&A for self-publishing and marketing, which we did in the last week. After we got done doing our live Q&As, I was showing her ChatGPT, and I put her book in to get it 50 Amazon keywords for her travel memoir, The Londoners, and it gave me a list similar to what you saw for my books. But then she said, well, will it tell me the volume search for those 50 Amazon keywords for the travel memoir? Which in her day-to-day job, she deals with SEO marketing all the time. So this was something that she would think of. And the AI came back and said, I'm sorry, as an AI language model, I do not have access to real-time search volume data for specific Amazon keywords, and goes on to say even more. But the important part is that specific real-time data. There was a video that I watched after Estelle and I did this little experiment, and the video was on YouTube called GPT-4 Full Breakdown, 14 Details You Might Have Missed. And in that video, the creator talks about the official technical report on GPT-4, which is not the promotional hype, it is just the breakdown of the technical details. And what he found was something the company's not talking about, is that the training data that the program uses for its model, the knowledge base stops at the end of 2021. So it's no wonder that it cannot give real-time data for the, specific keywords or anything else that you may want to know that is happening right now. So that is my first time playing with ChatGPT and trying out this AI, and then again using it with Estelle to just kind of play around. I'm excited by the possibilities, and I have used it again, and I have come across some funny stuff the AI does. So stay tuned for those videos. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and happy writing.